Hello dear student friends, this is Dr. Vijay Magnikar, Assistant Professor in Law, Sri Shivaji Law College, Parvani, and I welcome you in this online lecture series in law. Today I am going to deliver a lecture on the topic risk. My dear friends, under insurance, the prime object of insurance contract is to indemnify the losses. In order to determine the scope of indemnification, it is necessary to determine the risk. In that context, we have to see the definition. Friends, risk in common parlance could be understood as an exposure to danger. Similarly, the risk could be understood as a loss by a chance or a probability. Similarly, risk could be related with an event that can cause harm or loss. Friends, in the context of insurance contract, risk is uncertainty of a financial loss. According to Frank Knight, risk is a measurable uncertainty. Similarly, Irving has defined the concept of risk as a combination of hazards measured by probability. So when we take into account last three sentences, we can come to the conclusion that risk is related with uncertainty of financial loss, and such financial losses which are, though having uncertain characteristics, they are measurable. Friends, as far as the nature of risk in the context of insurance, we have to understand insurance does not eliminate the risk, but it reduces the financial loss caused by a particular risk. So this is important thing. The second thing which is important, all risks cannot be insured. Now we have to see when and under what circumstances risk can be insured. The risk can be insured if it is of uncertain nature. So the risk must be of uncertain nature, then only it can be insured. Second thing, the loss from risk must be capable of approximate calculation. So we must be able to calculate the risk approximately, then only it can be insured. If the greater is the risk, higher the cost of insurance. This conveys that the risk must have wider dimension. If it is of greater nature, then only it can be insured. Fourth element talks about risk should not be speculative but a real one. Now we'll see the characteristics of insurable risk. Friends, insured must have insurable interest in the subject matter, and under such circumstances only the risk can be insured. Risk must be common at large. That means it must be large number of persons who are exposed with common risk. In other terms, the risk that affects very few people, then such a risk is not feasible to be insured. So this is necessary that in order to make the risk insurable, more and more people must be exposed to the risk. Then only from business point of view, it is possible to insure the risk. The third characteristic of insurable risk is the risk must be calculable. But at the same time, we have to take into account that only quantitative risks, that means where we can do the arithmetic kind of equation, calculation, such quantitative risks are insurable. At the same time, qualitative risks are not insurable. Fourth one, characteristic of risk is the risk must be real one. It must not be an imaginary kind of risk. For example, a theft, dacoity, fire, accident, death, these are the real risks. At the same time, self-created or invited perils like suicide is unreal kind of risk. In case of unreal risk, that is not insurable. Fifth is object of risk must be always legal. It should never be an illegal object. In case of a theft or dacoity that is committed by any offender, and accordingly a fine is imposed upon such offender in accordance with the law, so there is a loss to such person. Financial loss is there exactly to this person. But as this loss is out of an illegal kind of act, therefore the insurance contract doesn't guarantee protection to the risks which are arising out of such illegal acts. Sixth characteristic of insurable risk is there has to be always low premium, so that more and more persons will insure their property or the subject matter. If the premium is very high, then certainly the people will not tend to take the insurance protection. Now, friends, will see the scope of the risk. According to the insurance contract, insurer is under duty to indemnify the insured against the loss caused during the period for which the peril has been insured. So generally, there is a definite kind of a period for which the insurance protection is guaranteed, and in accordance with that, the scope of risk extends. In order to understand further the scope of risk, we have to look into the case, the Xanthos case, which is very famous one. In this case, there was a bill of landing that was signed between the parties, and according to that, the ship was protected during the voyage, and it was expected that it should reach the port safely. But unfortunately, the ship Xantho got sunk into the sea and got destroyed. So the question came whether under such circumstances the insurer is liable to pay the indemnification or not. And accordingly, the court held that the parties by an agreement can extend or limit the liability of insurer in respect of the operation of risk. So that is a matter of an agreement to determine the scope of risk. Now we'll see what exactly the risk covers. The risk covers certain kind of cases. The cases which are fit for the payment of insurance money claims if the loss is caused or the risk is brought about by, number one, negligence of the insured, the servant of the insured, or any stranger person. Secondly, the loss if it is caused out of willful or malicious acts of the servants or any stranger person, such risks are covered under the insurance contract. But at the same time, the risk will not be covered under following circumstances if the loss has been caused by willful conduct of the insured. If the insured himself is involved in such an conduct which has been done willfully, deliberately by him, and that has resulted into a loss, such risks will not be covered under the insurance. Second thing, if the loss has been caused with the connivance of the insured, that may or may not be a crime. If the insured himself has supported such acts that has resulted into loss, then such risks are not covered under the insurance. Third, ordinary wear and tear of the subject matter. We know nothing is permanent in this world, so even the subject matter is naturally going to get affected, or rather wear and tear of any subject matter is but an obvious natural thing. So ordinary wear and tear is not the risk which has any kind of protection under the insurance contract. Fourth one is, if the loss has been caused due to inherent defects in the subject matter of the insurance contract, then certainly such risks will not be covered under the insurance contract. Lastly, if the risk is of uncertain nature and that has caused the losses, then also. So friends, these are the 5 circumstances wherein the loss is caused and such loss is not having any kind of a protection under the insurance contract. So we can understand that the risk will not cover the losses that have been caused due to willful conduct of the insured, or the losses that have caused due to the connivance of the insured, or losses out of ordinary wear and tear, and sometimes the losses that are caused due to an inherent defect in the subject matter. And lastly, if the loss is a kind of certain thing, when the risk is certain, then such risk is not covered under the insurance contract. Thank you.